Welcome back to more Let's Play Plants vs. Zombies. Last time, we finished puzzle mode, showing off iZombie, which I thought was pretty fun overall. Compared to a lot of the challenge in this game, I think iZombie offers a fair bit of challenge. We also tried to do the 10 streak achievement. Didn't quite do it. Got to 8 though, so I figured that's pretty good for giving it my best shot. Not too worried. So now, today, we'll check our Zen garden real quick. Give our plants some water, just because it feels right. And as you can see, we have a fair bit of money, which is going to be important for what's coming next. For anyone who's been reading what's all on the tombstone, you would know that survival mode is coming up. It's basically like if you took all of one type of level, such as the daytime, the nighttime, the pool daytime, pool nighttime, roof, and roof nighttime levels, you jammed them into one long epic session that has brief moments of respite to change out your loadouts. They're pretty fun. And I imagine each one of them is going to take a full episode. Now, before we do that, we're going to want to spend some of that money on upgrades. While we can't afford the 10 slot upgrade, we probably never will by the end of this LP, we do want some other plants. We've already picked up the double sunflower, which is really good, and the cattail, which is amazing. But over here, I want to specifically go out of my way to pick up the ice melons. These things are amazing. The cob cannon is also quite good, but I feel like for the sake of doing things, just because it's so expensive, I want to save our money. That way, we have a fair amount of upgrades, but we're not using the most expensive things. So, let's get into survival. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be day, night, roof. And then these ones down here are a bit of a mystery, but we know this will probably be endless mode, given there's only 10 trophies. So let's hop right in and do a new game. Again, I don't know why it saves that when I've made a new file. It's a weird oversight. So I don't know. But my strategy here is going to be fairly straightforward. You have your prediction for what's coming within the first round, I suppose you could say. So you have a good chance to build up. Sun is the name of the game. This is where the twin sunflower really starts to shine. Now with that in mind, I want to bring melons, because they are just de facto my favorite plant for damage. Eventually, I want ice melons too. But early on, I feel we might want squash, maybe a tall nut and a pumpkin, and perhaps... let's go very simple. Potato mine and walnut. I think this setup could practically get us through the entire thing. I might be right. So let's rock. As you can imagine, I am going to go for quite greedy openings. Ideally, I want to try to get all 3 columns here filled with sunflowers, quick as I can. These 3 columns filled with melons, and then probably these last 2 spaces for having defenses and immediate use things like the squash. As you can see, we're going to do our best here to get as many sunflowers as we can, as quickly as we can. These opening parts of the survival are usually fairly easy and generous, so now's the time to set up. Let's see. Try to potato mine the next one. Keep getting more sunflowers. Obviously, at some point here, I'm really going to need those melon bolts. For now, we're doing just fine. Might have to squash the next zombie, but that's okay. Let's get him out right now. The double sunflower right now is tempting, but I like getting all the basic sunflowers first. So that way, you eventually start eclipsing how much sun you're using to get melon bolts. I find that's a usually fairly good strategy. So, oops, not the melon. My goodness. A little overzealous. So we'll put our melon there, our potato mine here. And basically just start building up. With all the sunflowers, we should be able to make sun quick enough to get enough melons to actually keep ourselves fairly safe. Do that, and then with the next 50, probably do squash. Keep on going. And then, from here on out, it'll be upgrading to double sunflowers. Now, the only problem with how I've done this is the fact that the double sunflowers have a very long cooldown. That's one of the biggest issues with these pink plant cards, is they take some serious dedication. I'm gonna watch this right here, because I might need a squash, but I think we're good. Our next melon there. Then with one more, we will have all of our basic defenses. Yeah, as you can see, that cooldown for the sunflower is long, so keeping up with that is very important. So far, so good. Got lucky. We didn't have anything in the middle row there. But we can get our final melon, and now we are sitting quite pretty. The name of the game now is setting up our ice melons and our double sunflowers. Double sunflowers for now are going to obviously take precedent, but start upgrading to ice melons here. That way we can get a slowing effect. I like going the middle two rows, just so that way it can splash over and hit everything effectively. But we should have pretty much no problem with this first big wave, thanks to the melon bolt's splash damage. Now, if you're getting plenty of sun and have nothing to spend it on, feel free to put more melon bolts down. We've made it to the end of the first round, which shows you the unique mechanic. It updates the zombies you'll be facing and lets you change your repertoire. Like I said, I think we'll be fine with the exact loadout I picked, and I'm going to stick to that. Might change up how it's positioned just a little, but that should be fine. The nice thing is that because you have your basic defenses already set up, you should be fairly good to go. You'll have all your sun production already up and running. You'll have all the damage from your previous round. It's not that bad. It can be a little tricky sometimes, but once you have all your basics covered and enough production to keep going, I find the survival maps are actually quite easy. Now, maybe this is just the broken setup I use with the melons, but who knows? I'm sure there's probably some better, much more optimal setup for just destroying this mode. But from what I've found, this works just well. Now, at some point, depending on how interesting these are, I may end up speeding them up. Just because, frankly, if it's kind of a given that we're gonna clear it, and there's really no way of it getting mucked up, we'll see what happens. I do want to make each of these their own episode, but I worry that once we get to the later stages, especially on some of the other ones, it'll just get kind of boring. But like I said, we'll see. These first opening ones aren't that bad, I don't think. Maybe these will be the most boring ones compared to the later ones, and those will actually be interesting to watch. I'm not terribly sure. For me, I think it's quite interesting and fun to play it, just because I'm constantly having to manage the sun, watch cooldowns, check over here for the zombies. It's quite intense. Though for a viewer, I guess I'm not too sure how much I'd like it. I know whenever I was younger, and I used to watch Let's Plays of Plants vs. Zombies back when it was the hottest new game, I always loved just listening to it in the background. So maybe these long levels will make good for that. I guess I don't know. It'll be fun and interesting to see. Make sure to grab all our coins, keep collecting our sun, keeping up on our double sunflowers as best we can. Still waiting on the cooldown for those ice melons. But as of right now, our damage is doing quite well. Wow, and we're already on the next wave. Incredible. Ooh, a disco zombie. That's interesting. Well, let's stick to the old tried and true. Now, if you wanted to get a little more interesting and complicated, I would probably recommend at this point getting magnet shrooms and coffee beans to actually plant a full row of them along with tall nuts and then pumpkins, just probably skipping walnuts and skipping potato mines. You know what? Let's follow my own advice. While we could probably have cleared it with the exact armada I chose to bring originally, let's actually follow my own advice. Because I'm curious if it'll work. It should. Plus, it'll give us something to actually spend all of that sun on while we're waiting for the double sunflowers and melon cooldowns. So, I feel it'll be fairly worth it. Alright, every row has an ice melon. Perfect. I think I want our first magnet right there. Again, aiming for the second and fourth rows, just so that way it's hitting the top, bottom, and middle just as well. Walnut there. Another magnet shroom. Wake them up. Yeah, because that's going to significantly decrease the defense of these zombies. Now, these are the only things I'm a little worried about, are the dancers. Ooh. Not worried about receiving a gem, though. That's quite nice. All this money. Very nice. With the dancers, how they are... No, I think it'll be just fine. Hit our next ice melon. I don't actually remember if the ice melons increase damage or if it's just the added slow effect, but we kind of have nothing better to spend the sun on, so I figure may as well. Otherwise, too, for those who are playing the game, ooh, there's the first time that's happened, where we get a Zen Garden instead of money as a drop. Very nice. A Zen Garden. A plant for our Zen Garden. Man, that completely derailed my train of thought. Oh my goodness. I was trying to say that... No, you know what? I completely forgot. I might remember in 2 seconds once I actually see what's going on, but I totally forgot. What else were we... Oh, yeah, squash. Alright. I think it was something with the defenses I was saying. I totally lost my... Oh, yeah! That's what it was. I saw the sun, and that totally reminded me. For those of you who don't have the achievement yet of getting over 8,000 sun in one level, you could choose to just stop spending sun, let it hit that, and then go back to upgrading things. That is a totally viable strategy, especially if you just want the achievement and you're achievement hunting. I get that. But for me, who already has it, it's really not something I need to do. So I really don't mind. So man, all that money is nice. honestly, it's kind of ironic, but I'm at a point where I think I would rather miss sun drops than I would missing money drops. Because if it wasn't incredibly obvious, by the end of this Let's Play, we absolutely are not going to have bought everything. And to be honest, I really don't think it's worth buying everything. I don't know if there's an achievement for it. I don't think there is. But if you want to go full completionist and buy everything, you're probably just going to be playing through the story a whole bunch. Because while this is nice for getting money and doing a bunch of consecutive stuff and not having to worry about, oh, I gotta start from the beginning and do the whole level over each time, you're not getting the lawnmower bonus for the end of each round like you would be in the story mode. So, I'm not sure which would actually be more lucrative, but I feel the story mode is, especially on a repeat go around, just because you already have all of the different plants. So your strategy can be a lot more straightforward and easy. But again, what do I know? There we go. And I mean, at this rate, our strategy is pretty down pat. Got all our magnet shrooms, got all our defenses, our whole wall of ice melons and normal melons. Getting all of our double sunflowers, which is making our sun production go insane. This is the part where I feel that it might get a little boring to watch, because you kind of know that there's really no feasible way I can muck this up and lose. I would have to probably actually fall asleep at the keyboard, or just get rid of half of my plants. And you know, now that I think of, that might actually be an interesting thing to do with a later one of these, is maybe once I've decided that I've won, just actually get up and walk away from the keyboard and see if it wins. That might actually be interesting to see. See if I believe my solid defense is as solid as I believe it to be. I probably won't end up actually following that idea through, but it does sound like it could be interesting, right? Who knows? I'm just spitballing. Trying to help pass time while our, pretty much impregnable fortress here continues to do its job. Again, once you've gotten your whole row of sunflowers, it becomes fairly easy. Also, I forgot that it's only 5 flags for each survival. That's kind of pitiful. But we unlock a new mode. Survival, fog, very nice. But let's do the nighttime. And again, don't know why it has this, but no, we're good. All right, let's see. Again, old tried and true. Sunflower, melon pulse. Probably start with potato mine and squash for the early game. Grab tall nut, pumpkin, and it's nighttime, so we actually don't need the coffee bean. In that case, perhaps we'll take grave busters. I have a feeling those are actually going to be useful. And maybe instead of pumpkins, let's bring puff shrooms. Because it's night, they'll actually do damage. Yeah, I'm liking that idea already. Especially because that's going to save us a whole bunch of sun, especially because it's a nighttime level. So this also means, too, our puff shrooms surviving will actually mean a lot more to us than it normally might have. Just because they're going to be instrumental in defending our sunflower production early on. This is interesting. Because while my strategy works wonders for daytime levels, I'm not so sure how it'll do on nighttime levels. We will see. It's genuinely piqued my curiosity. Because obviously we're going to need Grave Busters pretty darn quick. But if our humble little puff shrooms can see us through for most of it, it actually might be even easier than the other one. Get our sun for the next sunflower. Again, just keep filling in our lines of puff shrooms, or I guess our columns of puff shrooms. For now, just keep it nice and steady. It's nice because we're able to keep our permanent offense. I'm going to do something a little greedy here, put him up there just so we can start hurting him and slowing him. But we might need to put some a little further back, because coneheads take a lot of damage. At least for a puff shroom, you know? That's okay. We should be able to replace him soon enough. And I mean, so long as it's just single zombies, they're easy enough. Look at that. Didn't even hurt them. So yeah, I'm actually feeling quite good about the nighttime level. I do really want a Grave Buster right there, though. That just makes me feel better. That way I can try to put the damaging guys back into their lane a bit. Because I got a little anxious with that, but should be good. Frankly, I think Grave Busters are a good use of our early sun. Putting out our free puff shrooms. I mean, honestly, double sunflower this early? I think it's a good idea. Sacrifice our poor little puff shroom. So sorry, buddy. You're doing very good work for us, though. All is fair in garden warfare. Getting Grave Busters out. Probably gonna lose a puff shroom, and I'll lose, but he is damaged. And I guess, frankly, we can start getting our melons all set up. Oops. Just click there. Not a big deal, but good idea. For that final grave. Don't know if we'll have enough for one more melon. I'm kind of hoping so. Alright, we're good. There. Because that should give us a fairly good head start. 2 double sunflowers, I mean, it's looking good. The nice thing, too, is we can use the puff shrooms to continually slow zombies, which is really useful. Plus, we won't need to bring coffee beans. So to be honest, I think the nighttime levels are going to be even easier than the daytime ones. Which is kind of interesting when you think about it. Grave Buster there. It's funny because he's still there. Let's see, pole vaulters. We'll definitely want tall nuts. So go with our stock standard repertoire. Sunflowers and melons. And then let's grab a tall nut. Pumpkin. I'm going to say a puff shroom. The Grave Buster is important. Do I care about squash right now? I don't know that I do. Let's say no, actually. Let's say no. Because with the puff shrooms, I don't think we'll need it. It's a nice comfort plant, but if you just don't need it, why waste the slot, right? That might bite me. We'll see, though. There's ice melon. I mean, again, that freeze effect is just so worth the amount. Like, in the grand scheme of things, you could buy, what? 3 ice peas for 175 each versus the 1 melon and 1 upgrade for 500 total. So overall it is cheaper, but their damage rate isn't nearly what the melon is. And that's where, frankly, while the expense is higher, the melon is just more efficient and does more over time. So I've always liked it even better than the Breeze Bee or the Snow Pea. Which frankly, Snow Pea, still phenomenal. Love that thing. But when it comes to efficiency, the melons and double sunflowers just have most things beat. And that's fair. It is an endgame plant. I would hope it's pretty good. Start getting some walnuts. Grab our double sunflowers. Grab our melon out. Really not too worried if our puff shrooms get eaten, because I figure they're our quote-unquote first line of defense. It's still nice that we can get them for free and they actually deal damage. I'm not complaining about that. Ooh, naughty little grave right there. Don't like that. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, but I do want to put a grave buster on him. Because I just don't want that being a thing. Get another tall nut where that was. Just why not? Frankly, get some more melons. Another double sunflower, very nice. And I mean, I think at this point, the rest is going to be pretty much what you've come to expect. It is offering a much more interesting challenge, though, because we have the puff shrooms. So I do enjoy that. Not seeing bucket heads in the prediction, so I don't feel the need for magnet shrooms yet. So I guess grab the old tried and true. And maybe... I don't know, what looks good? We could grab the squash, but I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. I guess we'll grab the magnet shroom for now, just see if we can start setting some of them up. I did put the tall nuts a little too far, or a little too close, but I don't think that'll really matter too much. So for now, maybe I'll start to aim my tall nuts a little forward, just that way I'm not interrupting anything. Not that it's a big deal, but the magnet shrooms are useful, and I do like to employ them when I can. Or I guess deploy them when I can, not employ. I'm not paying them. I guess, in a weird way, I kinda am, because I'm in the sun. But, semantics. But really, deploy is the much more accurate word there. Yeah, those dancing zombies are pretty much the only real threat, just because they could leak through. In fact, you know what? This might be okay. It was almost like, what if we do like a wavy kind of pattern, where we only use like 2 magnet shrooms? That might honestly also be fine. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas for what I would like to do, seeing as I've possibly mucked things up. Not really, but like kinda, you know? It should be fine. Not too worried about it, frankly. That, grab another double sunflower. Have to deploy a grave buster in a moment, so I'm not terribly worried. Grab some sun, grab some coins, feels like a darn good day. I mean, really, I'm not even using puff shrooms, I guess they were kind of a waste to bring. But, better to have them and not need them, than to need them, not have them, after all. Ooh, pesky grave. Oh, footballer. Thank goodness I started deploying my magnet shrooms just in time. Grave buster, squash, magnet shroom, pumpkin. Sure. Looks good to me. Get rid of that grave right away. Let's fix this right now. Get our other magnet shroom here. Kind of a waste of a tall nut, but not too worried about it. Get our next ice melon. start working on our next row of full melons. Their next double sunflower. Love to see them. They are adorable. I do love their happy little smile. Warms my heart. Melons. Put that there. Yeah, see, I think I like that wavy pattern. Because 5 magnet shrooms seems like a lot. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it does. Because it just felt like overkill. Like, yes, it's useful, but I don't think we're seeing that much metal. Maybe for daytime levels, it'll be more warranted. It's kind of like how the roof levels have the flower pots and the water levels have the pool, which you can bet your sweet bippy that we will be deploying cattails. So I don't know why I went with the Ed, Edd and Eddy reference there. I haven't watched that show in forever. Man, I used to love it as a kid. Ah, the good old days of Cartoon Network. Are they still going? I don't actually know. I haven't watched actual TV since I was like... Oh gosh, how old would I have been? Maybe like 12? I don't know. Because at one point in my life, I just sort of stopped watching television because I was much more interested in things like YouTube. Because it had content that I cared about. Like, I cared a lot more about seeing video games and other things than I ever could have cared about things like, I don't know, MTV or, I mean, Cartoon Network, for instance. I think I still caught a couple episodes of some things here and there, like just at night when someone in my house happened to be watching something and I was in the same room. But past that, I haven't gone out of my way to actually watch TV in a very, very long time. And frankly, I think that's okay. I don't think I'm missing out on much. So, So I figure if you're not really, you know, looking to the television for like sports or anything, and even then, even if you are, I feel like you get it online just as easy as you do with television, right? Like, if anything, television is just kind of awful because of all the ads and stuff. So, like, I could never see myself watching TV like that. Anything I'm interested about, I could probably find on my own and wouldn't need an ad to tell me. Though I will say, counterpoint to my current argument, it was fun seeing all the, like, new game ads and watching it get advertised. I think it was, oh gosh, I think it was Kirby Squeak Squad for the Nintendo DS. When that was first coming out, I remember the ads for that were so fun to watch and try to catch on TV. And, like, you know, being a kid pointing to the TV and being like, oh, look, you know, mom, dad, like, oh, you know, that's what I want for Christmas, or, you know, my birthday, or something like that. Like, you know, it's cute. But also, too, I guess I was lucky to grow up and have that privilege, you know, to be able to actually be like, hey, can I get the thing on the big tube television to, you know, for the birthday? Oh, we're already done? Really? Oh, that went by quick. There I was, reminiscing about my past. Well, I suppose it's for the best. So there's our rooftop level. And if you can see based on this picture, we have one zombie, many zombies. Basically, here's your normal, and here's your hard version, and then your endless. Survival mode's a lot of fun. Next time we play Plants vs. Zombies, we'll see how we do on the pool survival modes. As always, I'm Brad. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.